Today we talk about the Columbian Exchange, this great exchange that goes on because of the discovery of America and the new trade routes that open up between the Old World, the Europe, Asia, Africa, and um, and now the Americas. We're going to call it the Columbian Exchange because this is a huge exchange of plants, animals, foods, humans, diseases, languages, and ideas that began after 1492. These led to big changes. For instance, chocolate, cocoa from the Americas, sugar from the Asia, and then of course they started planting sugar in the Caribbean and made a lot. And I mean, just think about how many people like chocolate. But that's just one of the combinations that really start to come out of these exchanges. But things that come from America and go to Europe, Africa, and Asia: potatoes, tomatoes, corn, peanuts, tobacco. Tobacco is going to be a big one. Pineapples, string beans, and turkey. Also llamas, pacas, squash, chili peppers, pumpkins, chewing gum, papaya, tapioca, avocados. And then what comes from Europe and Asia and Africa to the Americas: oranges, bananas, wheat. Think about how much wheat is grown here in America alone. That was brought over by the Europeans. Coffee. How much coffee do we make here in America? That is now being grown in Americas. Chickens, cattle, sugarcane, goats, oats, melons, rice, barley, pigs, horses, sheep. Big ones right here. The animals, cattle, pigs, sheep. These are animals that you can put on a farm. You don't have to hunt them. It's a stable source of protein. And then, of course, the horses, the ultimate transportation animal coming over to the Americas that will change the lives of American Indians and change the face of America. We also have plagues and poxes. This was one that was unintentional and devastated the American Indians, as we saw with the when the Spanish came over. Whole villages, tribes were wiped out, and within a matter of days, it was something that was devastating to American Indians and made them very weak, and allowed the Europeans and whoever wanted to come over to really to push them around a little too easily once this started happening. And of course, you have the human exchange. And one thing that we're going to see is that millions of American Indians died because of these plagues and poxes and battles and so forth. Uh, and many of them were enslaved. So, if you're an American Indian and you see, oh my goodness, everybody's dying and people aren't dying or being enslaved, why don't we get out of here? And so they would start moving inland. So anytime they needed workers to do these sugar canes, um, farms, plantations, um, they would run out of workers. So the Europeans would bring over more Europeans, and when that wasn't enough, of course, then they start bringing over African slaves to tend to these fields. So that's all this is really about. It's just the Columbian Exchange, and you just have an idea of what things are coming across. Of course, the vocabulary word exchange: to give and receive from one another. This really was the whole point of going around and exploring, to open up trade routes. Uh, they just didn't know they were going to open it up in America and find all these things that are yummy: pineapples, chocolate, turkey, peanuts, and then tobacco. Europe will be addicted to tobacco when this is all said and done, and they're going to want more and more tobacco plantations, which is why there were so many in the South. And then, of course, America, the landscape will be changed because of the animals that the Europeans bring over, as well as things that they can, chickens and wheat. And we're reminded of the plagues and poxes, and then the human exchange. That's it.